Hello and welcome. It's Power Cuties here, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. We are going to make a tier list, and what we're going to do actually is a tier list of champions that I think will get added to Path of Champions sooner rather than later. So I saw a few people post on Reddit and on Discord. They were asking questions about, do you think we're going to get more champions of the established or the released champions, and when do you think we'll get them? And the answer to that is we are absolutely going to get more champions released, and it won't be just the new ones. They'll actually bring in some of the older ones as well. That's without a doubt. I kind of sort of know that they're working on some. I can't 100% confirm that, but I kind of know that they've been interested in bringing some champions in due to popularity and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, I think it is going to happen. So, what I'd like to talk to about today is how soon I think they'll get added, because I do actually think that eventually all the champions will get added to Path. I really do believe that actually. It will take a long, long, long time to catch up, but I think they will do that. I think at some point we'll get all the champions. But we're gonna get some sooner than others for sure. So that's what we're gonna do today. Is we're gonna talk about the champions that I think we're gonna get sooner rather than later. So I've made the tiers very likely soon, probably soon, at some point later on, and probably last that they'll add to Path of Champions. So yeah, let's go through these champions. I think this is relatively modern. It's actually a league tier list, so we might be missing path specific champions. But I mean, I think all the path specific champions, Nora, Jack, and Poro King they're already all in path. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, so yeah, so this list should be fine. Okay, so let's go down the list. So in path, not in Runeterra, not in Runeterra. Okay, Akshan. Akshan is interesting because I cannot remember him ever being in the game as a main deckable champion ever. But I know he's very popular and people do want him. So I'm actually going to put him in the probably soon. I think his design shouldn't be that difficult to make, and I think people will want him. So I think he'd be probably soon, and I think he would be a very fun champion to play in Path, to be honest. Okay, so moving on, Anivia. Yeah, Anivia is very, very hard to work into Path of Champions. She's just so slow. I mean, the only thing that I could think of is if they give her a star power where Agnivia gets to flip right away, or I don't know, or it has spell shield. I don't know. I don't think that this is somebody that the players want, and I don't think that this is somebody that Riot wants to design for. So I think it's going to be pretty last, is my guess. So Annie we have. So Aphelios. So Aphelios was in original Lab of Legends. And he was a really fun champion to play. Honestly, he was probably one of the most fun champions to play in the original Lab of Legends. I think people might not be calling for him right now, but I think he's going to be such a fun champion, and because he's been kind of pre-established, I think he's one that is probably going to come out sooner rather than later, because I think people will realize how fun he is. So yeah, I think Aphelios would be also probably soon. So Annie, Ash. We indeed do have Ash in Path of Champions. You might be fooled reading the patch notes, but Ash is in Path. Aurelion Sol. So Aurelion Sol is interesting because this is somebody that a lot of players are asking for. And I think design-wise, I don't actually think he's that hard to design. I just don't think he's very fun for Path. I think people don't understand how not fun he would be for Path. But having said that, people do want him. So I'm gonna put him at some point. I don't think Riot wants to put him in too soon. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be very, very wrong. But I think there is demand for him. But I don't know. After you finish the lip, move all of them one tier down. Okay. All right. I mean, yeah, it's all relative, right? It's all relative. Okay, so Aurelion Soul, I think there's a lot of people that want it. I don't know. I don't know how much Riot will cave into that because I don't think it will be a fun champ, and I don't think it will be a fun champ to design. Yeah, maybe they might just do it because people want it. Okay, Azir. So Azir is somebody that's been very established. Like he was in Lab of Legends, and I'm pretty sure he was in Path 1. I'm kind of surprised Azir is not in the game, so I think he's going to be very likely soon. I don't know who that is. Okay, Braum. Braum is also someone that we used to have. He was in Lab of Legends. I think he is definitely in these two. Like more, he's definitely going to be sooner rather than later. I think he would be a very fun champion to design. I would love to make a star power design for Braum. I think I could come up with great ideas. Caitlyn, I think Caitlyn, like, there's no reason that she shouldn't be very likely soon, but I think because they have these other ones pre-established, I think I'm gonna put her in there. But I think she will be sooner rather than later as well. We don't have those. Darius is here. Draven. Huh. Draven would be a very, very fun champion. I just don't know if there's demand. I don't think players know that he would be very fun. I would love for Draven to be playable, but I think he's actually going to be at some point because I don't think people are asking for him, even though he would be super fun. So we have Echo, we have Elise, we have Evelyn, Ezreal. Ezreal would be very interesting. I don't think he's also someone that players actually want that much, even though I think he would be really fun. I'm going to put him at some point. I think he won't be a high priority for them, is my guess. Okay, so now this one is interesting. So Fiora. So Fiora is going to be very difficult to design without kind of like breaking the mode. Sorry, I keep meaning to go onto the Twitch chat. You guys think Draven would be a mix of Jinx and Darius? I mean, kind of. But the thing with Draven is I think he could be really interesting with the Whirling Blades. I think they could give the Whirling Blades an item and make him really interesting. But anyway, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're right. He might be too redundant to prioritize him. Sorry. So anyways, we're talking about Fiora. So Fiora is going to be very difficult to design for because, I mean, she kind of breaks the game. So I don't think they want to release her soon. I honestly think they're going to make her like last, like probably the very last, because she's going to kind of break the game. And then stuff for like monthlies. She's also going to trivialize some of the monthlies as well. I don't think they're just not going to want to do that. So I think Fiora is going to be like very unlikely. Fizz, we've had Fizz before, or no, we've never had Fizz before. I lied, but he would be very easy to design. I don't think he's also in that much demand. Yeah, I think he'd be there. Like, I mean, he definitely can overlap with some of the other champions, but I don't think that's necessarily that much of a limitation. Galio. This is interesting because Formidable is kind of its own thing. The problem is Formidable is not really like that great for Path, and it's not going to be that fun. So I'm going to say at some point. I think they will do him at some point, but I don't think he'll be like a top priority. Gangplank. Yeah, Gangplank I think people do want, and I think he would be fun to design. I'm actually going to put him in the very likely soon. I think we do have a lot of Bilgewater's at the moment, so I mean, that might be a limiting factor because they might want to kind of spread out the regions, but I think he would be fun to design. I think he would be fun to play, and I think he'd be like awesome. Like he'd be really easy to design because you just make him like keg based. It's not that hard. Yeah, yeah, exactly. GP just stacking barrels, and you could probably do like funny things with the barrels. Yeah, I think GP would be fun, and I think it is somebody that they would want to add soon. Garen we got, Gnar we got, Gwen we got, Hecarim. So Hecarim. The funny thing about Hecarim is I've called him to be coming out like so many times, and they haven't given it to us because he's existed before. He's a fun champion. I don't know why they haven't released him yet. I think he's very likely. I think he's a fun champion. I think they kind of already have a preset design from his earlier uses, so I think he'd be there. Heimer would be super duper fun. I don't think people are asking enough for him. So I actually think he's going to be at some point. And that's a shame because I think he would be so fun to play. It is a shame. I'd love to play with Heimer on in Path. So we got Irelia. So people ask for Irelia all the time. She used to be really busted. If they bring her back, they're going to have to nerf her from what I think they'll have to nerf her from what she used to be, but I think she's very likely to come back. I think soonish too. Jarvan. I mean, we do actually need more Demasias. I don't think we have enough Demasias in the game. The problem is, I don't think Jarvan is the one. And I don't think he's even going to be soon. He's going to be very awkward to design around. So I think he's going to be a low priority champ. Jax, we have Jace. Jace will be really fun to play. Man, I really hope they do bring Jace out soon, but I think he's not going to be like the next priority. He'll probably be like a later priority. Jax, we got Jin, we got Jinx, we have Kaisa, we have Kindred. I don't know where to put her because I think she'd be very easy to design and I think she would be fun to play, but I don't think people want her. So I think she might feel too same as some other champs. So I think she's going to be a lot lower priority. Karma. Now Karma would be super fun. I mean, getting her leveled and doing the 10 mana stuff is kind of not going to happen very often, but then you could kind of like pull her out for monthlies and then play her against the Karma or Karma powers, which would be super cool. I think she's too awkward for regular path, so I think she's going to be not a high priority at all, is my guess. Yeah, Karma's probably not going to happen. Oh, and hello. Yeah, I mean, like, I think it might at some point, but it will be, like, a lot later on. It's not going to be a high priority. Where were we? Katarina. Katarina is also very awkward for Path. I mean, Mana Refill kind of, like, really makes her almost like a Fiora, like... It's going to be so hard to design to balance her. So I don't think she's going to be a high priority because of that. So I think she's also going to be like super low on the list. Kale. So I know a lot of people are asking about Kale, and I think Kale would be fun to design. I don't think Kale is going to be like high on their list, but I think it's pretty high on their list to design the Kale. Kennen. So Kennen is also a champion that we used to have. He used to be so busted in POC 1. Holy crap, was he busted. The funny thing is, I kind of feel like Nidalee now is kind of like what old Kennen sort of was. So because of Nidalee, it's almost a bit of like overlap. I also don't feel like people are really asking for Kennen. So I think Kennen might be a low priority. But holy crap, he was the best champion in POC 1. We got Kindred, got LeBlanc, got Leona. I don't know who that is. Lysandra. Lysandra is interesting. She would be a very fun champion to design. I don't think she'd be fun to play though. I don't think people are asking for her either. So I think she's just like at some point they'll do her. Lucian. Like Lucian is like OG. Lucian is Lab of Legends original, and he was super fun. I actually don't understand why he's not in Path. He should be like really higher in their priority. They also need more Demacia champions. He should be like their next Demacia champion that they release. We need Lucian in the game for sure. Lulu, again, OG Lab of Legends. And I loved her in Lab of Legends. I thought she was super fun. I know people hated her and thought she was underpowered, but I thought she was very balanced and good. So I would love to see her. I don't think people are asking for her, so I'm going to say she's not that high of a list. But I would love to see Lulu. I hope they bring her in soon. Lux, we have Malphite. So Malphite is kind of like Anivia. It's like, it's really hard to make him work, and I'm pretty sure he existed before and he just sucked and people hated him. So, I mean, we have Ornn, we have like these kind of crappy high high mana cost units or champs. I don't think they're looking to bring in more of them at this time. He's going to be low on the list. Maokai is very weird because he's really hard to design for Path. I've taken him as a support every time I've seen him, and it's really awkward because he decks you out before he levels, which makes the whole milling win con really difficult. Now, I mean, his star power could be something like, I don't know, like when you mill, you create some copies of stuff in your deck or something like that. I don't know. Um, you think Lulu and Tarek don't seem likely? I think Tarek is very likely. I think Lulu is less likely. Yeah, I don't think people are asking for Lulu, but I would love to have her. Yeah, I will move her down. Maokai is just too hard to design. I think he's going to be last because it's going to be very hard to balance to prevent yourself from decking out. So we have Yi, we have MF, we have Nami, we have Nasus, Nautilus. No, it's the Maokai. It's the Maokai thing. I mean, he's a little bit easier to design than Maokai. So I think he's more likely than Maokai for sure. But people aren't asking for him, and like he's going to be hard to balance. Nico we have, Nid we have, Kha'Zix. I mean, I'd love to see Kha'Zix. I feel like they're happy that Diana is the Nightfall representative, so I don't know if he'll be added. I think he's going to just be like at some point, but I don't think he's going to be a high priority because people aren't really wanting him. We have Ornn. No, we don't have Pantheon. The thing with Pantheon is we have Yuumi as our faded. So I think they're not going to be looking to prioritize him since we already have Yuumi. Poppy, I think, is very likely. I don't know if I put him put her at very likely soon. I don't think she'll be that soon, but I think she's a very likely champion that they're going to add. She's going to be fun to play. Pike we have. Quinn. Quinn is going to be hard to design, and I don't think people want her. Yeah, I'm going to put her very low, actually. I don't think people want her. Rek'Sai. I mean, we have Pike. We're not going to get Rek'Sai for a very, very, very long time. Renekton, it could be very likely soon, but because we have other Shurimas, specifically Azir, that will definitely come... not definitely, but almost for sure will come out before other Shurimas, so I think I would put him here. Man, there's some really good Shurimas that I want to see, like Akshan, Renekton would be really cool. I'd rather see them than Azir, to be honest, but I think Azir will be next. Riven is also kind of like an OG. Actually, I think she's very likely. I think even though she does kind of overlap with some of the existing champions, she kind of fits like their wheelhouse for design, so I think it's very likely. Rumble is somebody that I would love to see, by the way. I think he's perfect for Path, but just his whole creating cards and stuff to try to curve out very well. But I think I don't think people want him, and I don't think he's in Riot's mind, so I think he's going to be lower on the list. Rise. Actually, I want to see what you guys think about Rise, because this one is interesting. So, you keep forgetting Nocturne exists. Yeah. I think Riot does too. Yeah. So Rise, I think, would be probably the most fun champion. Period. In the game. The problem is, how do you make him consistent without making him broken? That's the problem with alt win cons. Because that's what you run into all the time, is how do you make them consistent without being broken? And for that reason, I don't think that they're looking to add Rise. I don't think it's never. I just don't think it's soon. I don't know. What do you guys think? Little better than Fiora. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think so too. I think it runs into the Fiora issue, where, oh, you have Asol with 80 HP. Well, I just Rise you turn 1 and GG. Yeah, I think he's just too dangerous. I do think he's more likely than Fiora. So I think we can put him there. Samira, we have Sejuani. I think Sejuani is very likely. I think we need more. We need way more Freljord champions, by the way. So I do think Braum is a high likely candidate. I actually think Sejuani is a very likely candidate as well. I mean, she does overlap a little bit with Ashe, but no, I think between Sage and GP, like we're almost certainly going to see one of them. We probably won't get both because then those two might overlap a little bit too much. But I think we'll see one of them very soon, and then we'll probably get the other one like later on. Okay, where did we leave off? Senna. Okay. We have Vigar. Senna is really hard to design around, so and I don't think people want her, so she's going to be pretty low. Seraphine. Seraphine will be fun, and people really, really want Seraphine, and Riot knows this. So Riot knows people want Seraphine. Nora is the other one. So yeah, there's no Nora here, but Nora would be in the very likely soon because it's the same thing as Seraphine, where it'd be fun to play, and Riot knows there's a high demand. So Seraphine goes in the very likely soon because I don't know if they're actually working on Seraphine, but I suspect they might be. And I think Nora is probably also going to be very likely soon. Sorry, I don't have a representation for her. Here, we'll make Nasus. No. Ivern. Ivern will be our Nora. Okay, there's Nora. Okay, so set we have Shen. Yeah, Shen is likely too. We do have a lot of Ionias at the moment, but I still think Shen is pretty likely. I don't know if I would say like he's the highest priority. I think he's in probably the second highest priority. I think they will bring him out sooner rather than later, but I don't think he's like their highest priority. Shyvana is interesting because it's again, I think we do need more Demasias, and she's just perfect for Path as well. Nora would have been busted if they didn't change portals. Yeah, probably. I think she might be busted anyways. But I mean, I still think because there's demand, I think people do want it, and I think Riot knows that. I want to say that Shyvana will be very likely soon, but I think Lucian will come out before Shyvana. But I could be wrong. Honestly, it might be Shyvana next. And I think Shyvana could have like really fun star powers. Like the first thing that comes to mind is like her star power 1 is everybody is a dragon and fury, right? Like that's just her star power 1. And that already makes her amazing. Like, that actually makes her really, really good. And then from there, they can just kind of build on the dragon theme. Man, I would love to see Shyvana. And I do think that Riot knows that she would be fun to play. So I think that she'd be high on the list. I think Scion would be also super fun to play. I think he would be very unique. I just don't think people want him. And I think for that reason, I don't think Riot cares that much about him. So I don't think he's going to come anytime soon. He's going to be way later, I think, to come out. Okay, so... Soraka. Soraka, I want Soraka in the game. Actually, if I had to pick one champion that I want in Path, it's Soraka. That actually is my most wanted champion in Path. And I don't think people know how fun she would be, and I don't think Riot knows how fun she would be. But I think Riot also does want to make more unique champions. Like, I think they realized how fun Tahm Kench and Vigar are and how much people enjoyed them. So because of that, I think she's going to be soonish. I don't think she's going to be like their highest priority. She might actually be the next Targon, because I'm not really seeing that many Targons here. So she might be their next Targon. Maybe Aphelios, but maybe Soraka. I don't even know about Soul. Like, I mean, people want it, but I think Riot knows that it won't be fun. So I don't know about Soul coming soon. I don't know. It really depends on how much they're going to listen to the fan base. Swain. I mean, Swain, it'd be super fun. He might feel a little bit samey, but I think he did previously exist. I mean, do we have any Noxus up here? No. Honestly, I'm putting him in the likely soon. I think he could be the next Noxus. I think he would be really fun, actually. Ivern is getting in before Soraka. I mean, maybe. You never know. Could be. Could be. Where are we? Tom, Talia, Tarek. So chat says they don't think Tarek is coming out anytime soon. I mean, I think he could. I think he could, but I think the problem is there's too many Targons that will probably come out before him. So because of that, I don't think he is going to be soon, actually. I'm going to say at some point. I think he's not a high priority for them. Teemo, Thresh. Tristana is interesting because Tristana can definitely be built around. I don't think people want Tristana, but I think Riot would want to try to experiment with a build for Tristana, so I think that's a possibility. Trundle, I don't think Trundle would be fun to play is the problem. And I think for that reason, I'm going to actually put him in the later on. I don't think he's coming out anytime soon. Twisted Fate has existed before. He was a very fun champion to play, and there's no reason he shouldn't be fun and high on their list of priorities. I think TF is also a very likely candidate here, that he'll come out sometime soon. Udyr. Udyr is another person that actually surprisingly people are asking about. I don't think he's going to be the top priority. Like, I think Braum is much more likely, and then even I think Shyvana is probably more likely. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, Shyvana and Udyr are probably about the same likelihood to come out. But I think Braum is more likely. So I'm gonna put them both in the probably soon. I don't think they're gonna be the next Freljords, but I think they could be very soon. Where are we? Varus. No, we have Varus. Vayne, Vigar, Viego. Viego is also someone that people want, and I actually think he would fit in Path very well. I don't know if he'd be next. I really do think that Heck would probably be the next SI, but I mean, he could be. He definitely could be, because he is in demand. People do want him, and he would work. Victor is somebody that we've had and was super fun, and honestly, I don't know why he's not in the game. I don't know why he's not a main deckable champion. He has to be soon on their list. Like, he was just so fun. He's so good. He's so easy to build around, or to design around. Like, I mean, just give him Wild Inspiration, and there's your star power, and it's already, like, amazing. Like, I mean, why is Victor not a champion you can play? Like, it's crazy. Vi, we have Vlad. Vlad is also kind of high on the list. I don't think he's, like, people want him, but I think they should, because I think he would be super fun. Yeah, I think I'd put him in the probably soon, because I think Riot knows that he would be actually really well designed for Path. Xerath, I mean, we have Talia. They don't kind of want to like double up on these things that are a bit more redundant. I think he's perfectly fine for Path. I don't think he's bad. I just don't think they want too many landmark champions before they start, like, they'd want these other champions first. So I'm going to put him on the later on. And then, Yasuo we have. I don't even know who that is. Yumi we have. Zed. Zed is an OG. Zed is an OG, and Zed should be in the game. And yeah, I don't know why. Like, all of these champions probably should be in the game by now. I mean, Seraphine and Nora, you can argue maybe not necessarily, but all these other ones really should. And then what's left? Ziggs, Zillion, Zoe. Ziggs would be totally fine. I just don't think he's a high priority. Zillion, I don't know. I don't think people want him. I don't know if he'd be fun, because the whole setup for bombs is a bit too hard to. I mean, they could do it. They could just manipulate the star powers to make it viable, but I forgot Sivir and Trin. Oh, thank you. I'll go back. Where are they? Yeah, here's Sivir. Thank you. Yeah. Tell me if I missed people, because I keep forgetting where I left off. Sivir is very likely. I don't think she's the next. Like I said, I think for Shurima, I think it's going to be Azir next. Um, and the second most likely is probably Renekton. I mean, it could be Sivir after Azir. I don't know. I don't know. I think she is likely though. I think she is likely. Trin, there's no chance. Like he's too hard to design. He's there's no reason to make Trin in the in the game. People don't want him, and like he wouldn't be fun. So yeah, Zoe existed, and she was super fun. She should be in the game. I think honestly I'm gonna put her in the probably soon though, because I think it's kind of like Aphelios. I think it's like people forgot how fun Aphelios is. People forgot how fun Zoe is. So yeah, probably not the next champions, but like probably soon. Okay. I stopped playing League at 2018, something like that. Yeah, something like that. Okay, did we get everyone? Let's look back here if there's anyone that's a support that's not in the game. Not that I see. Yeah, I think we got everyone. Okay, so yeah, there's my list. So very likely soon are basically the champions that I'm almost surprised aren't in the game right now. Like I mean, these are champions that Riot kind of has designs for, except for Sarah Nora. They don't really have designs prior designs for, but all the other ones they have designs for. They all work really well within the path system, and they're all fun to play. So Riot, bring these champions into the game, please. And then these probably soons are ones that will be very will fit very well into path. Actually, not Asol. Asol is here because people want him, but I don't think Asol would be well designed for path at all. But I think the rest of these would be fine. Viego might be a little bit awkward. Tristana might be a little bit awkward. But I think those are champions that are just kind of like popular, so people might want to see them anyways. But the rest of these, like, they would be great designs for path. Even Jace. I know Jace sounds weird. It's like, well, how are you going to get it powered up? But, I mean, they just give him some sort of spell mana refill. Honestly, like, his star power 1 could just be, like, just gain 1 extra spell mana every turn. And I think that wouldn't be broken, and I think that would be pretty cool. And then like his other star power will have something to do with probably like a 6-cost spell. Like the first time you play a 6-cost spell, maybe, or maybe every time you play a 6-cost spell, you heal for 6 or something. I don't know. But I think Jace would be fine. I think they could actually make Jace. At some point, so there's a lot of champions here that I personally want. I want Draven. I want Heimer. I want Lulu. I want Rumble. I want Tarek. And I don't think other people want them, and I think Riot doesn't really prioritize them. So, I mean, I think they will come out at some point. It's just they're not high on the list, and it's too bad, because there's a lot of champions here that I think would be really fun to play. The later ons are champions that are really awkward to design for. Like, you have your Nautilus and your Katarina, so they're just awkward to design, and even Ryze. And it's like, they could be fun. It's just the design is going to take a lot of effort and time, and then I think Riot would just rather do the easier champs first and then do these complicated ones kind of later, is my guess. Some of these are also overlaps, like Pantheon and Xerath are kind of overlapping, and Senna are overlapping existing champions, but some of these are just difficult to design. And then the last ones are, so you got like stuff that's broken, like Fiora, and then you've got stuff that people aren't going to enjoy playing. Like these are just going to be Orns. Anivia, Malphite, Maokai, these three are just Ornn 2.0. Like literally, like nobody's going to want to play these. Rek'Sai could be fun. The problem with Rek'Sai is it's awkward and we have Pyke. So that's why I have Rek'Sai so low on the list. And Trin, I mean, actually, you know what? I'm going to move Trin up because I could definitely see them. I think Trin is just going to be one of those complex designs. I think It's very possible. It's just going to be tricky to do. Tricky to get right, I should say. All right. Well, that is my tier list of champions that I think will get added to Path. Yeah, I mean, let me know in the YouTube comments what you guys think, if you agree or disagree, or what you guys think.